Hello and welcome back to the port. I'm the Gav Major and this is WoWs Weekly. WoWs Weekly is the weekly news video covering World of Warships Legends in the week past, present and the future. Also covers some speculations where we do have intelligence information and also some channel admin. So the headlines this week: German Navy discounts tech tree ships at a discounted price. Next patch, what do we know so far, what has been confirmed in concrete, and what can we continue to speculate before the release of the patch notes? These headlines and more after this short break. So this week's news will be slightly shorter than usual, but that's mostly because we're getting very close to the patch and therefore most of the stuff is actually bundled under that patch. So our first story of this evening: German tech tree ships are discounted this week. The discounts have been as per the previous weeks, but this time it's on the German nation. So the discounts for this week for the German tech tree ships, should you wish to purchase them or research them, are 25% of a tier 5, 20% of a tier 6 and 15% of a tier 7. It's basically a reduction of the credit values of purchasing the ships, which can be quite helpful if you are obviously working on these tech trees. Now this is the last week of these discounts and there won't be any more, at least planned, going forward. So this is your last week to take advantage of them. Now, the Prime Gaming Camouflage Bundle Pack is available at the moment until February the 16th. Now this bundle pack is available should you have a Prime Gaming subscription and does contain 12 holiday camouflages, 12 hunter camouflages, 12 type 4 and 12 type 3 camouflages as well. So quite a lot of camouflages all in there to put together. Now, the results for Arena are in. I was rather surprised that this was actually happened. It's only happened today. And so what can we really take away from this information? As you can see on my top left here, there is generally some information, but you're not going to be able to read it because I've kind of shrunk Season 8 and 9. But the general things you can take away is the choice of ships, or most played ships that players chose, didn't really vary. So when it came to battleships, it was always Yamato, then it was Grosser Kurfürst, then it was Conqueror. Obviously the rentals, they counted as different ships, but if you add it all together, I think that's surely where you're going to end up with. When it came to cruisers, it was the Alaska, followed by the Minotaur, followed by the Worcester, and then within the last week did the Colbert and the Stalingrad make an appearance, but they were again a bit lower down the table because they were both rentals. When it comes to destroyers, it's quite an interesting mix. Shimikaze coming in first, Gearing coming in second, with the Karabosk followed by the Kleber, which is quite interesting, although there is a bit of switcheroo in the middle sometimes, but basically the Kleber coming off as the least played destroyer of choices. Now, the interesting one is, first of all, what can we really dig away from this? Well, the win ratios generally stayed the same, the amount of kills and stuff, yes, that did change, but the big thing here that I think you really take away is, what's the size of the player base? So Season 8, the size of the player base was 56,000 players participated in playing Arena, which does give you a good idea of what the player base is for World of Warships Legends. I mean, not everyone's going to play, so you could probably say it's like 60 to 70,000 players, which actually is quite a healthy gaming community, I guess you could say, for not what you would call an A-list game, and especially when you consider it's now 2.5 years old, nearly going to be hitting 3 years old soon. So it's quite interesting to see a game, obviously, of this age, not with such a big brand name title, with such a large player base. Now, the other thing you can also take away from this is player burnout. Player burnout is obviously where people just don't want to keep playing the same things all the time, and this is obviously true with Arena, being that things didn't really change much. It was the same tier, the same mechanic, the same rewards. The rewards weren't really that amazing and stuff, so it's kind of understandable that player numbers are going to drop. So from Season 8 to Season 9, the player base that participated in playing Arena dropped by 8k, and Season 9 to Season 10 it dropped by a further 4k, meaning that from Season 8 to Season 10, 12,000 players decided that playing Arena was just not worthwhile, or not worth the grind, which is probably understandable. And also I guess the player number drops might also be people not needing to grind out so much in order to get the lion or to get those steel coins if they so wished. Now, this week is the last week in which you can get your hands on the Tier 6 German cruiser, the Wilma. The reason being she is going to be permanently removed from this in-game store. She'll probably still be available in some other means. I suspect she will be a premium drop or a very rare drop in some crates like Super Santa crate containers and stuff, very much the same way that the Belfast and the Jean Bar are, I guess you could say. Though, obviously, that does mean that if you do want to try and get her, this is going to be your last chance if you don't want to be going through that random surprise mechanic, I guess you could say. That's I'll catch on to you when we get onto the channel admin in regards to that query. So, next patch. What do we know? What has been confirmed? And what can we speculate so far? Well, first of all, it's been confirmed that the campaign is going to be called, as you can see, the Pride of Prussia campaign. This is the thumbnail for the video that came out today. Now, obviously, we know that the end reward of the campaign will be the German Tier 7 battleship, the Brandenburg. She's basically going to be at Tirpitz hull, so it looks like she will come with torpedoes, but with the guns from the Odin, so that's the 12-inch guns. I think the 305s is the best way to put it. Now, it's mentioned, I've seen it mentioned that she's not going to have sonar, and she's also going to have quite a slow reload. She's almost like an alternative Odin. What that means is probably she may not be like a must-have campaign reward ship, but she might be a nice to have if you want, but not really like a must-have. It's not going to be a Wichita or anything like that, which I think is actually quite nice, because obviously she's a campaign reward ship, so you have to get everything back in, but she might be like easy to get if they decide that she's less desirable. And furthermore, what it does mean is you can probably take it a bit easier in the following patch. I know obviously we've just had Christmas, we've been trying to take it easy, but obviously with some things like the Lion and the Minotaur out there, quite a lot of players have been grinding their teeth in order to try and get those ships, which does mean that some people probably experience a bit of burnout. So maybe having a patch where people can take it a little bit easy, not have to try so hard to get a ship that isn't that, maybe not that OP or that strong, so they might choose to maybe pass on it or something, I think is actually potentially quite nice. Brandenburg, I've got mixed thoughts, but I think it might be just a nice patch to sit back, relax, and just take it a bit easier. Now, Azure Lane Wave 3 has been confirmed. Now, there were 3 Twitter posts from World of Warships Legends English regarding this. The first one said it was coming on January the 31st. This was then redacted and then changed to February the 7th. So we do know that Azure Lane Wave 3 is coming on February the 7th. Furthermore, from the Japanese Twitter, yes, I do have to go research, go check the Japanese Twitter. The Japanese Twitter does say a little bit more than the English Twitter. The Japanese Twitter does confirm that obviously the collaboration commanders are going to have unique voiceovers, but that's not really much of a surprise, I guess you say. But furthermore, that there will be some collaboration camouflages coming this season. Whether that's camouflages for in-game ships at the moment, ships that are forthcoming, whether that'll be some premium ships like we had with the Azure Lane Baltimore and the Azure Lane Fuso, is all yet to be seen. But obviously, Azure Lane camouflages, Azure Lane commanders, what do you really expect? Obviously, as well, we do know that we have the Loyang and the Roma coming for 750,000 globe XP, the Minotaur arriving in the Bureau, and all tier 6 ships, I should say, premium ships, will be made available for 12,500 doubloons, which means that those which are available for more, about 15,000 doubloons I do believe, will be reduced to 12,500 doubloons in the next patch. So if you are looking at those slightly more expensive tier 6 premium ships, wait until the next patch, best way to put it. Now, speculated and teased. So we have this, right? We discussed it last week, we covered the information, and one thing has been confirmed, Azure Lane Wave 3. So what we saw in the description of this stream thumbnail basically has been confirmed, which means that the other 2 items, which are speculated, Italian battleships in early access, I would say is pretty much good to go, is the best way to put it. They've already dropped the ball on it, so I think that's quite good to go. Furthermore, with Azure Lane Wave 3 and Italian battleships, I think there's a good chance that you might be looking at having a Azure Lane Littorio commander. The reason being is obviously Littorio is the sister ship to the Roma. You've got the Roma coming for 750,000 globe XP, and you have Italian battleship early access, so it kind of would all tie together, I guess you could say. Furthermore, this stream is coming out on the 31st, which is the day the patch drops. And within that stream, the community managers are going to showcase how crossplay works, hopefully. Which either means crossplay is being tested next patch, or it's actually arriving next patch. And I think that's something to potentially be hyped about. They've obviously dropped the ball. They've told us that they're going to be testing it, whether it's early access, whether it's testing, but if it's in-game, you never know. Maybe we might be actually using it. Anyway, we are expecting the patch notes to be coming out tomorrow, which is Thursday the 27th of January, and so fingers crossed we should have all the information when it comes out. Now, this is where I usually go into covering channel admin, but before I cover the channel admin, I'd just like to say if you're enjoying WoWs Weekly, feel free to give it a thumbs up. Enjoy this content, feel free to subscribe. Usual YouTube shit, and you know what I'm like. Anyway, as you can see, there's a news bar down the bottom. If you want to have a comment of yours scrolling along there, then also you can shout it in the chat now. After this has gone live, then down in the description will be a pinned comment of mine that you'll be able to then comment on for submissions. But I also do take submissions from the Friday live stream as well. I basically scroll through and see any funny comments or anything like that. The general rules is no religion, no foul language, and no politics is the best way to put it. Anyway, on to the channel admin. So, as you kind of see, I'm trying out some new thumbnail design. Basically, this Thursday, so Thursday the 27th, is 2 years since the first video was released by Back to the Port, and in those 2 years, I haven't changed the thumbnail design. So it's about time I actually did it. I made this thumbnail design as an experiment for a video which may be coming, well, should be coming out tomorrow, but obviously is not scheduled yet. And I kind of liked it, and I thought, well, I might try it out on a couple of things. And I do actually like the formatting of it. It's very crisp, it's very clear, and there's no real confusion, unlike probably my previous thumbnail. So I think I'm going to try it out for a couple of weeks and see how it goes. Obviously, your feedback is much appreciated, and yes, I do know it looks very similar to something else, is better to put it, or someone else's, I guess you could say. Now, obviously, if the patch notes do come out tomorrow, in response to Vaz Vegas' comment, yes, there will probably be a live stream covering the patch notes, where basically I will go through the patch notes and you'll be able to basically comment and ask questions, things like that, as I go through them. It's basically a way as a community we can go through the patch notes together. Obviously, this is subject to the patch notes actually coming out, but there's probably a reasonable chance that they probably will. It's the usual rule of thumb. They usually do come out on the Thursday before the patch drops. Now, furthermore, obviously, there will be the usual live stream on Friday covering World of Warships Legends, so obviously feel free to join in with that, and it should be in the usual slot, but obviously that will be scheduled at least 24 hours before it is live. And obviously, as I mentioned, Thursday is the second birthday since the first video came out on the channel, and therefore there will be something special. I'm hoping to have a premiere of something. It's only a very short video. It's a bit of fun. I hope you enjoy it, and I'm not going to announce the premiere until probably quite late tomorrow. The reason being is I don't want to premiere it too much in advance because it'll give the game away, but it's a video, it's a very short video, but it's been in the making for the past 3, maybe 4 months. The Patreons and the moderators have probably already seen a lot of the work behind the scenes, and I would like to say thank you to both the Patrons and the moderators for their assistance in obviously helping with some of the decisions and stuff that happen behind the scenes, and I hope that everyone does enjoy it. Anyway, I'll catch up with the chat after this short break. Well, hello chat. Who have we got here? Kim Mike X Gaming. Good to see you. Good to see you. GJ Shangle. To Brazil you go. Here we go. Yes, yes. Lily Pete. Hello, hello, hello. Good to see you. Good to see you. There's so much anticipation. Well, there's a lot coming in the next patch. Even just from what they've teased and announced, there's a lot coming, and it does look like it's going to be quite an interesting patch. Is the best way of it. Sean, hello. Good to see you. Good to see you. Hope you're doing well, and good to see you, Jeff, as well. Discord's down. I can have a quick check, but I don't think it is. I was only on Discord very shortly, or recently, I guess you could say. And as he checks that in the background, ooh, maybe you might be right there, Vaz. It does seem like Discord is having some connection problems, at least for myself, but that could be just my own personal internet, I guess you could say. Let's see, what else do we have? As Vaz says, will we have patch notes streamed tomorrow, Major? Only if the patch notes actually do come out. Um, can Mike say, well, I was just going to stick with Mike X Gaming. The last arena had stupid prizes. Yeah, no, like, if you weren't interested in steel and you weren't interested in the ice coins, the rewards were just absolutely pointless. Good evening, Action Pepper. Good evening. Hope you're all as well. Sean, arena burnout on the last one. Too many battles with pants rewards. Yeah, no, that's very true. I think after the first season, I think a lot of players realised what they were in for, and then the numbers just dropped from there. You can just kind of see that in the stats that they have released on there. I believe they've released them on Facebook, and they've also released them on Twitter if you do want to go check them out yourself. Like I said, yeah, I didn't play the last one. Didn't even touch it. Exactly the same position here. I went hard to the first one, went hard to the second one, and then the third one, I was just like, oh, just not another week of this. I can't be bothered with it. As best we put it. Vaz, yeah, the rewards were absolutely junk in Arena. I hope that next season Arena, when they do go around to it, they do learn from this and actually start to mix the rewards up a bit. Like they should have done it where it was still ice coins, a reward, and something else worthwhile. The problem was if you weren't interested in the coins and the tokens, the other reward was just absolutely garbage for all the effort put into it. FT for God, good to see you, good to see you. Sean, has everyone been voting for their favourite potato on Facebook? I thought I'd chip in with my vote. Very good, very good. Honestly, I didn't like any of them. I've been I looked at them and I was like, oh no. So, no offense to anyone who did submit one. Like, good on you, you put the effort in. But I looked at the 8 that they chose and the two finalists, and I'm like, God, I don't like any of them. The only one I liked was the potato flag with lots of potatoes because it just looked like baked beans, and I thought that was quite funny because a baked bean flag would have been quite nice. Oh. Vaz, what does pants mean? Pants is like your underwear, so pants on head kind of moment is probably a bit of a reference to Blackadder, where Blackadder puts pants on his head, puts wooden spoons up his nose, and says wobble in order to try and get off the front line during World War III. But yeah, pants as underwear is definitely a Queen's language, I guess you say. Action Puppet Major, I'm going to break the habit of a lifetime and finally spend some money on World of Warships Legends. Must get Azure Lane Baltimore. Which other commanders would you recommend? Azure Lane Baltimore, yeah, I think if you're a cruiser player and you want to have those duty builds, yeah, I'd highly recommend. With the others, I wouldn't necessarily say there's any particular choice you should really go for unless you want to play certain things. Like Azure Lane Hood, I'd recommend just for like Hood and like maybe Vanguard and Conqueror. Nelson's quite a good choice if you are playing British battleships like KG5, and you have the Nelson, definitely a good choice there. But generally, Azure Lane Otago. Azure Lane Otago is a very strong fire build for Japanese cruisers. I'd probably recommend her. And if you want to use like a smoke cruiser build, like my original Tyrant build, where you have a lot of chain smoke and you want to have really decreased detectability when firing smoke, certainly Belfast can be quite nice for that. But certainly Belfast is more as an inspiration. I don't really like her as a commander in her own right. I just like having her as an inspiration. But generally, I can't really think of any others that I'd say are must-haves. I'd say Baltimore and Otago must-haves, and then Hood and Nelson if you have those ships and you want that, and Belfast maybe if you want an original type build. And the others I haven't really looked too much into them. I don't really use them too much myself. I know that name does use them quite heavily. Sean, pants means rubbish, and what you wear under your trousers. Yes. Well, at least we're speaking Queens in the chat there. Anyway, as I said, potential live stream tomorrow. I can't guarantee anything. Reviewing the patch notes and obviously live stream on Friday. I don't know if I will live stream this weekend. I know usually I would aim to do a Sunday night live stream, but I've got a lot of channel stuff that I want to do. As you can see, I've updated the logo recently. I've updated the schedule. I've started updating the thumbnails. And there's a couple of other things I want to do in the background. I've already done the description. I've got to redo the channel trailer and a couple of other things. But hopefully tomorrow I'll catch you at the premiere video, and then maybe the live stream afterwards. And so look after yourselves. Stay safe. Stay well. Give it a thumbs up if you want. Shout out in the comment down, the pinned post down below, because the chat's going to disappear soon if you've got anything that you want to appear in the news bar. And until next time, I'm the Gareth Major, and he's lost OBS, there it is, and back to the port.